In a dramatic twist of fate, Ibrahim Traore embarks on a covert mission in Barsalogho, a town recently shaken by violence from a former military junta. As tensions rise and chaos reigns, Traore's bold leadership is put to the test. Will his secret operation restore peace, or will it plunge Burkina Faso deeper into turmoil? Join us as we uncover the gripping details behind this high-stakes mission. Background on Ibrahim Traore. Ibrahim Traore, born on March 14, 1988, in Bondokui, Burkina Faso, is a military officer and the current president of Burkina Faso. His ascent to power began with a series of coups, the most significant being in September 2022 when he ousted Lieutenant Colonel Paul-Henri Damiba at just 34 years old. Traore became the youngest head of state globally. His military career started in 2006, and he quickly rose through the ranks due to his leadership during operations against insurgents. Traore has garnered attention for his promises to combat extremism and improve living conditions amidst rising insecurity and hunger in the country. His leadership style is characterized by a focus on military strength and a commitment to returning power to civilians by July 2024, although recent actions suggest a potential extension of military rule. Traore's journey reflects both his ambition and the complex political landscape of Burkina Faso, where military coups have become increasingly common as solutions to ongoing crises. Significance of Barsalogho. Barsalogho holds strategic importance in Burkina Faso's fight against insurgency and serves as a microcosm of the country's broader security challenges. Located in the center-north region, it has been a focal point for extremist violence, making it critical for both military operations and community stability. The town's recent history has been marred by attacks from jihadist groups, which have exploited local grievances and weak governance structures. Barsalogho's significance extends beyond its geographical position. It symbolizes the struggle between the state and insurgent forces that threaten national sovereignty. The community's resilience is tested as residents face displacement, loss of livelihoods, and trauma from violence. For Traore's government, restoring order in Barsalogho is essential not only for military success, but also for gaining public trust and legitimacy. The town's recovery could serve as a model for other regions grappling with similar issues, highlighting the need for effective governance and community engagement in counterinsurgency efforts. Recent attacks in Barsalogho. The recent wave of attacks in Barsalogho has intensified concerns over security in Burkina Faso. Armed groups have launched assaults targeting both military personnel and civilians, leading to numerous casualties and widespread fear among residents. These incidents highlight the growing boldness of insurgents who exploit local vulnerabilities amid a backdrop of political instability. In response to these threats, many families have been forced to flee their homes, exacerbating an already dire humanitarian situation characterized by food shortages and lack of access to basic services. The violence has not only disrupted daily life, but also strained relationships within communities, as people grapple with fear and mistrust. Wait a second, how do you think Ibrahim Traore's leadership style will impact the future of Burkina Faso? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Traore's administration faces mounting pressure to respond effectively to these attacks while balancing military action with efforts to address underlying social issues that fuel unrest. The situation in Barsalogho serves as a stark reminder of the challenges facing Burkina Faso as it navigates its path towards stability amidst ongoing violence. Details of the secret mission. Ibrahim Traore's secret mission in Barsalogho aims to restore security and demonstrate his commitment to combating insurgency effectively. This operation involves deploying specialized military units trained for counterterrorism operations, focusing on intelligence gathering and targeted strikes against known militant hideouts. The mission reflects Traore's strategy to regain control over areas plagued by violence while minimizing civilian casualties. It also seeks to reassure citizens that their government is taking decisive action against threats to their safety. As part of this initiative, Traore has emphasized collaboration with local leaders to foster trust within communities affected by violence. The mission is not without risks. It requires careful planning to avoid backlash from insurgents who may retaliate against vulnerable populations. Ultimately, this operation represents a critical test for Traoré's leadership as he strives to balance military effectiveness with the need for political legitimacy and public support amidst ongoing challenges. Military response. The military response under Ibrahim Traoré has evolved significantly since he assumed power following the coup in September 2022. Faced with increasing attacks from extremist groups, the Burkina Faso army has adopted a more aggressive posture aimed at reclaiming territory lost to insurgents. This includes enhanced training programs for soldiers and strategic partnerships with other nations for intelligence sharing and logistical support. Traoré's government has prioritized mobilizing resources toward counterinsurgency efforts while addressing internal dissent within the ranks that could undermine operational effectiveness. Recent operations have involved coordinated strikes targeting militant bases believed responsible for attacks in regions like Barsalogho. However, this approach raises questions about sustainability. Prolonged military engagement without addressing root causes may lead to further instability. The effectiveness of these military strategies will ultimately depend on their ability to integrate community support while ensuring that security measures do not alienate local populations already suffering from violence and displacement. Hold on a second. What do you believe are the most pressing challenges facing civilians in Barsalogho right now? Share your insights with us. Civilian impact. The ongoing conflict in Burkina Faso, particularly in regions like Barsalogho, has had a profound impact on civilians. Many families have been displaced due to violent attacks from extremist groups, leading to a humanitarian crisis characterized by food insecurity and lack of access to essential services. Displacement has forced communities to flee their homes, often resulting in overcrowded conditions in makeshift camps where resources are scarce. The psychological toll on civilians is significant. Many suffer from trauma, anxiety, and fear as they navigate daily life amidst violence. Children are particularly vulnerable, facing disruptions in education and increased risks of recruitment by armed groups. The government's response has been criticized for not adequately addressing the needs of these affected populations, as Ibrahim Traoré's administration seeks to restore stability. The challenge remains to ensure that civilian voices are heard and that their needs are prioritized in recovery efforts. The long-term implications of this conflict on community cohesion and trust in government institutions could hinder future peace-building initiatives if not addressed promptly. Traoré's leadership approach. Ibrahim Traoré's leadership approach is marked by a pragmatic focus on immediate security challenges while also addressing the underlying socio-economic issues facing Burkina Faso. Unlike his predecessors, Traoré emphasizes transparency and accountability within his administration, aiming to rebuild public trust after years of political instability. His military background informs his strategies, prioritizing effective military campaigns against jihadist threats while also initiating reforms to combat corruption and enhance governance. Traoré has made significant moves to engage with local communities, recognizing that sustainable peace requires grassroots involvement. His administration has launched initiatives aimed at economic recovery, focusing on sectors like agriculture and renewable energy to create jobs and improve living standards. By reducing salaries for politicians while increasing wages for civil servants, he aims to demonstrate a commitment to equitable governance. This approach not only addresses immediate security concerns, but also lays the groundwork for long-term development, reflecting a dual focus on military effectiveness and socio-economic progress. International reactions. International reactions to Ibrahim Traoré's leadership have been mixed, reflecting concerns over the stability of Burkina Faso amid ongoing violence and political uncertainty. Some countries have expressed support for Traoré's commitment to combating extremism, viewing his military-led government as a necessary response to the escalating jihadist threat in the region. However, there are apprehensions regarding the implications of extended military rule, particularly concerning human rights abuses and the potential for further political repression. Western nations have urged Traoré to prioritize a return to civilian governance while maintaining security operations against insurgents. Just a moment, how do you feel about the international community's response to the situation in Burkina Faso? We'd love to hear your opinions. Comment below. Additionally, there is growing interest from non-Western allies, particularly Russia, which has offered military support and training. This shift highlights a potential realignment in Burkina Faso's foreign relations as it seeks assistance outside traditional partnerships. The international community continues to monitor developments closely, emphasizing the need for a balanced approach that ensures security while fostering democratic processes. Future implications for Burkina Faso. The future implications of Ibrahim Traoré's leadership for Burkina Faso remain uncertain but pivotal for the nation's trajectory. If Traoré successfully stabilizes the country and addresses pressing security concerns, he could pave the way for economic recovery and improved living conditions for citizens. However, the reliance on military solutions raises concerns about long-term governance and civil liberties. Continued military rule may lead to discontent among the populace if democratic processes are sidelined or if economic reforms do not yield tangible benefits quickly. Furthermore, the challenge of reintegrating displaced populations into society will be critical for social cohesion moving forward. Should Traoré fail to balance military action with effective governance reforms, there is a risk of renewed unrest or even further coups in the future. Ultimately, Burkina Faso stands at a crossroads where strategic decisions made today will significantly influence its stability and development prospects in the years ahead. Broader regional context. Burkina Faso's current situation cannot be viewed in isolation. It reflects broader regional dynamics affecting West Africa. The rise of extremist groups across the Sahel has created a security crisis that transcends national borders, prompting countries like Mali and Niger to face similar threats. The interconnectedness of these challenges has led to increased calls for regional cooperation among affected nations to combat terrorism effectively. Ibrahim Traoré's leadership is part of a larger trend where military governments are emerging as responses to insecurity across West Africa, raising questions about democratic governance in these contexts. Additionally, external influences from global powers seeking strategic alliances in the region complicate matters further. Countries like Russia are gaining traction as potential partners against Western influence. Quick question, in your view, what role should regional cooperation play in addressing the security crisis in West Africa? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. As Burkina Faso navigates its path forward under Traoré's leadership, its actions will likely resonate throughout West Africa, influencing regional stability and cooperation efforts against common threats while shaping perceptions of military governance versus democratic rule across the continent. As Ibrahim Traoré navigates the complexities of leadership in a turbulent time, the outcome of his secret mission in Barsalogho could redefine the future of Burkina Faso. Stay tuned for more updates on this unfolding story. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for in-depth analysis and coverage of the region's evolving dynamics. Thank you for watching.